Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. First call, Bill Cowher gives a lot of helium to Peyton Wilson, an odd Pirates trend. In our final, first call before the 4th of July, Bill Cowher pumps the tires of a Pittsburgh Steelers rookie. We look at a funky Pirates stat that tells a significant story. Aaron Judge continues to set Major League Baseball on fire. And the Duquesne Dukes know their draw for the Cayman Islands tournament. What the jaw saw Steelers rookie Peyton Wilson is drawing high praise from a fellow North Carolina State linebacker. It's retired Steelers coach Bill Cowher. Speaking to Steelers.com on Tuesday, Cowher gushed about Wilson's potential. His athletic ability speaks for itself, Cowher said of his fellow Wolfpack alum. It's off the charts. You see it in his play. Some people run fast, but they don't play fast. Peyton runs fast and he plays fast. He has great cover ability. It's probably made more for today's game than back even 10 or 15 years ago, because it's a very wide-open game. It's a game of speed, angles, and understanding the concepts of football. He has all of that. He's proven that the last couple of years with his productivity. Wilson dealt with his fair share of injuries at Raleigh. But Cowher isn't projecting that as a problem in Pittsburgh. He kept coming back from that. He's a very resilient young man, very passionate about playing football, Cowher said. It's that combination and getting the opportunity, being in the right system, the right place, he has a great chance to be successful. He's got to go out there and do that on a week-in, week-out basis. You can read the full interview here. During minicamp and OTAs, Wilson worked as a sub-package contributor at the inside linebacker position. And, as we chronicled here at Breakfast with Benz, he could prove to be a good complement to Patrick Queen in nickel looks or may even be able to handle the dime duties all by himself because of that speed Cowher outlined. Can that be right? The Pirates' 7-4 loss to the St. Louis Cardinals on Tuesday reset the clock on the team yet again in their elusive quest to win 3 games in a row. The Bucs had been coming off a 4-2 win in Atlanta on Sunday. But, as has been the case quite a lot lately, the Pirates were unable to sustain any momentum. The Pirates haven't won more than 2 games in a row since they won 3 in a row May 4th to 6th against the Colorado Rockies and Los Angeles Angels. To be fair, the Pirates also haven't lost more than 3 in a row since then either. Derek Shelton's team had its longest win streak of the year to open the season at 5-0. Meanwhile, the club dropped 6 in a row from April 15th to 21st. On Wednesday, the Pirates will pitch Jared Jones against the Cards. Jones hasn't thrown since June 22 against Tampa Bay, allowing just 2 earned runs in 7 innings to improve his record to 5-6 with an ERA of 3.66. He had 8 strikeouts in that game too. The Cardinals counter with Miles McCollough. The last time he faced the Pirates, McCollough was locked in a pitcher's duel with Paul Skeens. He gave up just 1 hit over 7 innings in what would prove to be a 2-1 Pittsburgh win. But McCollough was shelled by Cincinnati in his most recent start. The Reds popped him for 9 earned runs on 12 hits in 4 1/3 innings. That raised McCollough's ERA to 5.32 on the season. That was McCollough's only loss in June. Steelers A to Z, suspension behind him, Damontae Kazee trying to factor into safety rotation. The past, Kazee's second season with the Steelers was memorable in the way that it ended. He was suspended by the NFL for the final 3 games because of a violent hit he put on Indianapolis Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman. On appeal, Kazee was permitted to return for the postseason, which looked unlikely given the Steelers' 7-7 record at the time. After the Steelers won the final 3 games, Kazee suited up in the wild card loss at Buffalo, and he hesitated to hit scrambling Buffalo quarterback Josh Allen, which contributed to a 51-yard touchdown run that put the Steelers behind by 21 points in the second quarter. Kazi started 9 of the 14 games he played last year, and he was on the field for 81% of the defensive snaps in those games. He was part of a safety rotation that included Keanu Neal. Kazi finished with 2 interceptions, matching the number he had in his first season with the Steelers when he was limited to 9 games because of injury. Kazi is among the oldest players on the Steelers roster. Only 5 players on the roster have accumulated more NFL service time. 2024 Outlook: Kazi's role entering training camp isn't set. The Steelers signed Deshaun Elliott to a 2-year contract in free agency with the idea that he will start alongside Minkah Fitzpatrick in the secondary. Kazi could continue to be used in 3 safety packages. The Steelers, though, could save $3 million if Kazi doesn't make the 53-man roster. Cheaper, albeit less experienced options exist on the roster, but the Steelers went through a handful of safeties last year because of injuries. That could be a reason to keep Kazi around to fulfill the final year of his deal. Graziano: 49ers want to keep Brandon Aiyuk, but market has gone beyond what they thought. It feels increasingly unlikely as the days and weeks drag on during the dog days before training camp that the Pittsburgh Steelers will trade for San Francisco 49ers Wr Brandon Aiyuk. But with not much else to talk about, Aiyuk's contract status and future with San Francisco is a juicy offseason topic, and on Get Up this morning, ESPN analyst Dan Graziano gave his thoughts on Aiyuk's future with the 49ers. They want to keep him. But in terms of getting to a long-term deal, I'm not sure that they do. I think the market has gone beyond what the 49ers thought it would for wide receivers, Graziano said. And now if you're looking at low $30 millions, that may not be where they're comfortable, especially with Deebo Samuel still getting $22 million this year. So I think if they can't get to a deal, he probably plays it out. And then at some point late in the season or early in the offseason, the Niners decide, do we pay Deebo long-term? Do we pay Aiyuk long-term? And I wouldn't be surprised if Aiyuk ends up being the answer. It would make sense if San Francisco didn't want to pay its top 2 receivers over $20 million each this year, with Aiyuk potentially climbing toward $30 million. The 49ers selected 2 receivers in the 2024 NFL Draft, including Wr Ricky Pearsall in the first round, so the team certainly appears to be planning for a future without either Aiyuk or Samuel. If Aiyuk gets paid before this season, Samuel could very well be out at the end of 2024, whereas as Graziano said, if Aiyuk plays out his deal, the 49ers will evaluate which receiver to keep. Basically, it doesn't sound as if Aiyuk is going anywhere. He said this weekend that he for sure wants to stay with the 49ers, they want to keep him, and they're talented enough to return to the Super Bowl after losing to the Kansas City Chiefs in the game last season. A team looking to compete usually doesn't trade one of the best receivers in football, and it seems like Aiyuk will have at least one more season in San Francisco before he cashes in with the Niners or elsewhere. While Aiyuk in Pittsburgh would make the Steelers' offense considerably better, don't hold your breath on a trade happening. Besides the fact of the matter that it just doesn't sound like Aiyuk is going anywhere, the Steelers would likely be understandably hesitant to turn around and make him the highest-paid player on the roster. We'll see what happens with Aiyuk in the coming weeks and months, but it doesn't appear he'll wind up in Pittsburgh. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.